This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Of the sewage drains finally gets the mayor's attention. He promises prompt action against the contractor. Treading with caution, the Union Shipping Minister says he will wait for the Supreme Court's order for the go-ahead signal. State Administrator S. Malathi takes over the reins of new Chief Secretary of Tamil Nadu. Out for lunch, an unsuspecting customer finds a worm in his sambar rice. The restaurant refuses to replace his dish. And a pain in the neck for some and a resident evil for others. The culprit, the IT companies, the software professionals or the corporation. Good evening. You're watching News Tonight. It's 9 and I'm Evelyn Matthew. There's plenty coming your way in the next 30 minutes. But a look at the national headlines as well. Accused of spot fixing, the Pakistani captain and his star bowlers are questioned by the Scotland Yard. They are barred from practice. The Supreme Court reopens the Bhopal gas tragedy. Notices are sent to Keshub Mahindra and 6 others. A furious Supreme Court slams Sharad Pawar's dismissal of food supply, orders free grains to the poor. And India flexes its financial muscle. A bullish economy charges with an 8.8% growth, the highest in 2 years. Well, NDTV Hindu brought you the story of children bang in the middle of Chennai who are being forced to plunge into storm water drains where rainwater mixes with sewage. This has sent shockwaves across the city. Our investigative reporter Sai Manish raises important questions in a country which now has an obligation to provide its children free education. Can such heart-rending scenes ever be pardonable? Of what use is the right to free education when the country cannot free these kids from the shackles of poverty? Questions for which no one really has answers to, perhaps only promises to take action to ward off criticism.
Innocence gone down the drain. NDTV Hindu brought you these shocking pictures. Look at these children cleaning drains overflowing with rainwater mixed with sewage. A shocked mayor of Chennai promises action. Ditto from the Metro Water Chief.
The children and other things is unheard of in Metro Water. We don't engage children. Wherever the contractors are working, it is strictly prohibited to engage children. In fact, we take strict action against the contractor and they don't allow. So no child is engaged in the cleaning of the sewage system.
Innocence gone down the drain. Mr. Kapil Sibal, are you watching this? These innocent eyes bereft of aspirations, staring into a vacuum, demanding nothing more than a life of human dignity. Can you look into their eyes, Mr. Sibal, and say you gave them the right to ask for education?
This is not about you and me. It's about our future. Not just the future of our children, the future of India. Because if we do not empower our children, who are 220 million who go to school, remember, if we do not empower 190 million children, you can imagine what's going to happen. This demographic dividend will become a demographic disaster.
Innocence gone down the drain. An indicator perhaps that a law means nothing. That these children will continue clearing the muck at many an indifferent city to eke out a living instead of building their future in classrooms. With Sai Manish in Chennai, Sanjay Pinto, NDTV Hindu.
Well, a sight that we see very often in our city. Well, in other news, when the centre waves the flag, G.K. Vasan will get his men back in action, it seems. A day after Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister expressed his concern that superstition and wrong beliefs have hindered Sethu Samudram project, the Union Shipping Minister, Mr. Vasan, said and made it clear that the next course of action regarding the project will be decided after the Supreme Court's order. Implementation of Sethu Samudram project has always been a dream project of the ruling DMK, but the project hit a roadblock after Hindu groups opposed its implementation. However, the central government seems to be very cautious in its next course of action.
இதற்கு சேது சமுத்திர திட்டத்தினுடைய நிலை உச்ச நீதிமன்றத்திலே நிலுவையிலே இருக்கின்ற காரணத்தினால் அந்த நிலுவையின் அடிப்படையிலே வருகின்ற மாதங்களிலே ஏற்படுகின்ற தீர்ப்பின் அடிப்படையிலே சேது சமுத்திர திட்டம் விரைவாக நிறைவேற்றப்படும்.
Well, the state of Tamil Nadu has a brand new Chief Secretary, S. Malathi. No stranger to the state administration, Ms. Malathi held several offices earlier, including the posts of Home Secretary and the Vigilance Commissioner of the state. She takes the mantle from K.S. Shripati, who retired today. Now, here's a group that's rallying a different cause. More than 1.5 lakh midday meal workers protested today against the DMK government for forcefully suspending 300 functionaries of the Midday Meal Workers Union. The workers demanded a salary hike and regularization of their service, but the government ordered their immediate suspension and arrested a few workers. The CPM has lashed out against the Chief Minister Karunanidhi, saying that he is turning democratic protests violent with the help of the police. The CPM also made it clear that instead of making arrests, the government should negotiate with the workers.
ஏற்கனவே 25 ஆண்டுகாலமாக எங்களுடைய நியாயமான கோரிக்கை முன்வைத்து நாங்கள் போராடி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். எங்களை எந்த அரசியல் கட்சிகளும் தூண்டவில்லை. திசை திருப்புவதற்காக மக்களையும் ஊழியர்களையும் திசை திருப்புவதற்காக இப்படி ஒரு தகவலை தருகிறார் என்பதுதான் எங்களுடைய கருத்து. தவறான தகவலை தருகிறார் என்பதுதான் எங்களுடைய கருத்து.
Meanwhile, AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha too backed the noon meal workers. She said that the government was being vindictive towards noon meal workers as they were appointed during the MGR regime. She added that the demands of the workers were justified as there was an unprecedented price rise under the DMK regime. And joining us live right now from our newsrooms is our senior correspondent Peer Muhammad. Peer, at this point, do you believe that this is snowballing into a political controversy altogether?
Yes, Evelyn, definitely. This is snowballing into a big political controversy with both the CPM and the AIADMK backing the demands of the noon meal workers. And CPM, particularly CPM was staying away from the whole issue, but when Chief Minister blamed the CPM for creating unrest in the state and instigating the noon meal workers, today they said the government is in fact creating a law and order situation by cracking down on the protesters who are protesting peacefully. And they have also said the government is trying to shift the blame on the political parties instead of really listening to the demands of the noon meal workers. And also ADMK chief has said that no, this government is trying to be very vindictive towards them because they were appointed during MGR's regime. And in fact, if you look at the history during MGR's regime itself, they protested in 87 to 89. They had a huge protest in Chennai, which was supported by then DMK chief Karunanidhi. And now he is not listening to their demands. Particularly their demands assume significance because they are demanding that they are getting just about 5,000 rupees, which includes HRA, which is less than 500 rupees, and they are demanding that their pay should be increased and they should be regularized. And they are saying that their pay, when the office assistant gets a pay of nearly 20,000 rupees, how can they meet their living expenses with just about 5,000 rupees? That is their demand, and this is with CPM and Jayalalitha taking it up. This will definitely, in the coming days, it will definitely going to be a big headache for the government because they are planning a giant struggle, particularly in the face of vindictive action by the government against the noon meal workers. Particularly the district office bearers are also getting memos from the government. They might also be sacked in the coming days. So this might have a backlash on the government. Evelyn?
Right, Peer, but as far as these noon meal workers are concerned, what do you think the plan of this group will be hereafter?
Yeah, they have been discussing with other government employees unions and other unions, because they are protesting. Over 1,20,000 workers are part of the protest, and as they are protesting as their own unions, they have been targeted, and they have been singled out, particularly the district office bearers and state office bearers of various unions of noon meal workers are singled out and being targeted. Now they want to join hands with other unions so that they won't be targeted. That seems to be the game plan of the noon meal workers, and they are determined to see that the government demands, their demands are at least met partially. Evelyn.
Right. Thanks very much indeed, Pete, for joining us with those latest developments. Well, on to another story that might not go down too well or may not be easy to digest. A hotel caught serving sambar rice with dead worms in it challenged the customer to go file a police complaint today. A family who decided to have lunch at a restaurant on Mount Road were disgusted after finding dead worms floating in their rice. When they informed the hotel manager, they were advised to throw out the worms and continue eating or file a complaint.
சாம்பார் சாதம் சாப்பிடலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு நாங்கள் ஒரு 5-6 பேர் சேர்ந்து சாம்பார் சாதம் கேட்டு வாங்கிட்டு வந்தோம். அந்த சாம்பார் சாதத்தில் வந்து புழுக்கள் நெண்டி இருப்பதை நாங்கள் கண்ணால் பார்த்தோம். உடனே அந்த சாதம் போட்டவர்களை வந்து அந்த ஹோட்டல் உரிமையாளரை என்னப்பா இது புழு நெண்டி இருக்குது அப்படின்னு கேட்டதுக்கு, அப்படி தாங்க இருக்கும், அதை தூக்கி போட்டுட்டு நீங்கள் சாப்பிடுங்க, இல்லைன்னா நீங்கள் எது வேணாலும் செய்துங்க, வழக்கு கூட போட்டுங்க.
Well, it doesn't go down too well, does it? Now, there's no doubt that the IT boom in this city has brought in lots of revenue and opportunities for many in Chennai. But that's not all it does. This rapid industrialization also affects some citizens. Our reporter Bertilla finds out more details.
Swanky IT buildings and corridors now have their own, not so legal, makeshift parking lots, which are proving to be a pain in the neck for commuters. Take this road, for instance. Packed with IT companies, the corporation had recently widened this road to ease the traffic congestion in this area. But instead of helping the commuters, this road widening project has only led to a different evil. The road has now turned into a popular parking destination for the omnibuses, cars and vans hired by these very IT companies to pick up and drop their employees.
போக முடியல, சரியான நேரத்துக்கு வர முடியல, அவங்க பாட்டில் பார்க் பண்ணிட்டு போயிடுறாங்க. அதான் அர்ஜென்ட்டாக போனால் அவங்க எப்போ எடுக்கிறாங்க என்னன்னே தெரியல, ரொம்ப கஷ்டம், சிரமமாக இருக்குது. பாட்டில் ஃபுல்லாக எந்த ரோடு பார்த்து எந்த ஸ்ட்ரீட் பார்த்தாலும் வண்டிங்க ஃபுல்லாக தான் நிற்குது.
This illegal parking problem has also silently crept into quieter, unnoticed streets in the city, where many college buses park for free. In fact, the transport authorities have the right to seize vehicles and also fine vehicle owners without proper parking spaces. But activists point out that the authorities are mostly lethargic in this issue.
When somebody gives a parking garage address, the authorities now go by the declaration of the person rather than the truth of the declaration. This is something that they seem to overlook.
There are over 25 lakh vehicles plying on Chennai streets every day. It's high time the concerned authorities take the issue of traffic congestion and its regulation seriously. In Chennai, with Bertilla, Ragamalika for NDTV Hindu.
Well, still ahead on News Tonight. While Sharad Pawar plays his power card with the farmers, the judiciary is not too sweet with him. And Mrs. Mirza is Little Miss Perfect on court and with the match of her life.